There we go. Come on, everybody. Look at that one duck with all of the geese. How weird is that? There's one white duck who's a little bit confused. Come on, babies. Come on in. There we go.
Everyone's impatiently waiting for me to come feed them. Almost done. Oh. Y'all have a great day.
I'm a little bit bothered that our gate is open this morning. None of the animals are out, but I don't know how our gate got open. Come on, littles! Let's go! Come on, babies! I don't know for a fact if I locked it last time I came out here, but I would have put a chain around it, and there's in fact no chain around it. Come on, Ringo! Come on, babies! Bunch of fatties, y'all gonna come too? Come on, little ones, come on, babies! Let's go right to the good stuff. Let's go right to the good stuff. Come on, little goats! Come on, you bunch of little babies! All right, we're gonna hopefully pull them right over here where there's an abundance of God's goodness. Come on, little ones! Come on, babies! Please don't stop at that cemetery. I do not know why they want to come through there and just look at my two sweet piggies. Oh, I'm so happy that y'all love to come out and explore. Sweet baby, honk for me. Where's the honky? Let me hear your honky. Honky honk. Honky honk. That wasn't much of a honk. That was not much of a honk. Hey, why do you have chicken feathers all over you? Where you been sleeping, huh? What you been sleeping in? You gonna forage too? Come on, babies. Look who's coming out, the old geese. Oh my gosh, here comes all the geese just to see what we're up to. While we're here, if y'all don't mind, I'm gonna open a couple of gifts for y'all. Would y'all let me do that real fast? A couple of things came for Lester Morrow, and I thought now'd be a good time to open them up. I'm gonna get me a tripod set up over here and open these. I'll let the babies be here in the background behind me. Excuse the way I look. It's already hot. It's so early. It gets hot so. It doesn't take that sun no time to heat up. This here comes to Lester Morrow from John Dutton. I can't tell if that says johndutton.com. That might not be a name of a person. Oh. Okay, look at this. This is funny. The Wacky Pack Shack. So obviously this is meant for Longhorn Lesters, the Wacky Pack Shack. And this is where Mr. Huck and all of his gang hang out when it's rainy or when there's inclement weather. And we did give them that nickname, the Wacky Pack. And so John has let's just name it official. Let's go ahead and christen this place as the Wacky Pack Shack. I do hope that I don't see. I'm trying to find exactly who it's from, everybody. So y'all give me a second or so to get this box. Because I think that John Dutton is a .com, not the name of an individual. And there's nothing inside here beside, look, Ringo, you don't know this, but that's Mr. Huck's hangout. That's where Mr. Huck hangs out with his friends. Well, I will just say thank you very much to the sender of this. And I will go over there later today and I'll actually mount this, the Wacky Pack Shack, established 2022. So thank you very much for that. That's very kind of you. I just wish I knew a name to give credit. Let me turn the camera on. So these guys are doing great, but look who else has come out to do a little grazing. Now you guys know the difference between grazing and foraging, yes? Grazing is eating things, along the ground. Grazing are eating things along the ground. Foraging is eating things, shoulder and neck, head high. And so naturally the ducks are grazers. Pigs are grazers. The alpaca, they're grazers. Cows, horses, they prefer to graze. However, goats, they prefer to forage. And isn't it neat in life how you have animals who are pretty much built for everything? They're built for everything. Because if there were no goats to forage, things like this would begin to take over the grass. Seriously, if you had all this stuff growing without anyone to eat it, in nature, this would end up growing across there and taking over and killing out all of your grass below it. It's like I was telling Lex recently about scavengers. How we may think that buzzards and possums and other, worms and other types of animals, maggots, are gross and, they freak us out. But in real life, we need scavengers. If not, every dead creature that was to die across, over time or for whatever reason, would end up just sitting there rotting, and there'd be nothing to help clean up those remains. And so we have our scavengers, we have our grazers, we have our foragers. How beautiful life is to know that it was all so well planned out. That to me is once again just the power of God. Oh, all you scientist people are going to say, "No, Lester, that comes from years of only the strong survive, Lester. It has nothing to do with the God, Lester." Well, okay, you can believe that if you want to, and let me believe what I believe, and you believe what you believe, and I will never get on to you for what you believe. But I'm not a church-going guy. I stopped going to church a long time ago. And I have said this before, and it always angers people, but churches have done more harm to me than good. The organized church has done more harm to me than good. And so I made a personal choice not to go to church. Now, I did raise both of my boys in church as far as Sunday school, vacation Bible school. I always wanted to give my boys the option and let them choose for themselves. I never tried to influence my sons to say this or that or this or that. Ellie's got to the age where he himself has kind of had some spiritual struggles, but he's also finding a whole lot of flaws and fallacies in the organized religions. And so I'm going to say this, and this is probably going to hurt a lot of people's feelings, but I'm not saying it to hurt your feelings. I'm just saying it to open your eyes. If you're somebody who's going to say, "Lester, the problem is you're just going to the wrong church." Okay, I've heard that 1,000 times. I've read that in the comments so many times. But what I would suspect is that you may find yourself in the church being a part of that elite group and not realizing what you do or what you say or what you don't say or what you don't do to those around you, those in the community, those in your congregation who end up leaving the church. Here's an example. We have a church over here. Now, my grandfather gave an acre of land to the old Plum Grove Church. And they came on that acre and they built them a small trailer house church at first. And then they eventually grew and evolved into building a nice big solid structure of a church. But do you want to know how that church formed? It was the splitting in half of a former church. There was two groups of people in the Plum Grove First Baptist Church. Two groups of people. Now here we are, all Christians, right? Yet there were two groups who could not get along. Even in the same denomination, in the same Christian faith, you had fighting and arguing and bickering amongst two groups of Christians. And so I'm sure this group thought that they were right in their beliefs and in what they, did, yet this group thought, no, we're right with what we do. So you had these two churches, my grandfather being, I guess, closer tied to this group. So did I say that right? We had these two churches in one who were split. My grandfather having closer ties to this group. And so whenever he got to the age of ready to, deed off land, he gave an acre of what was left for him and his wife to the church to start a new home. And so the churches in Plum Grove split. To this day, they're split. And so what I've seen is these were good people who I'm sure are all living by their faith and are living by their convictions. And yet they're fighting and bickering so much in church. And so let me just say this. What if you were a third person who showed up to go to church? What if you had a calling? And so you showed up one day to go to this church and you noticed right away that even inside the church, there's fighting and bickering and arguing and hypocrisy. Then if you're that person right there, which was me, you find out real fast that, hey, I come to church to escape all of the things that I see in the world and instead of what ended up happening at church. And so it's very likely that if you're one of the persons on this page who's going to say, Lester, the problem is you have gone to the wrong church, it might be because you're blinded by what's going on. Hey, stop being mean, Maggie. I'm sorry. Pebbles, was that necessary? Was that really necessary to run Maggie back to the side-by-side? Sorry, Maggie. Pebble. Oh, well, I understand why you did it. Hold on. No, ma'am. That's for the wacky pack. That's not for Pebbles to mess with. There's nothing back there for you to eat, baby. Yeah, I don't mean to get on a church rant, guys, because I'll tell you what, if you want to go to church and do all of that stuff, that's great. I do, though, believe that I have found more of a peace outside of church than I ever found in church. And so you don't need to say, lest you're going to the wrong church, because trust me, I've been to a bunch of them. I have been to a bunch of churches, y'all. I mean a bunch. And I have never seen a difference. I've seen cliques. I've seen groupies. I've seen those who all congregate and hang out and go eat afterwards, yet they don't say a word to those that are not part of that group. I've seen people congregate at the front doors, smoking their cigarettes. I've seen weekend warriors who can party it up like the best of them on the weekends. But I'll tell you what, you'll catch them right there on Sunday morning. The men sitting there with their hands in their laps saying, amen, amen, brother, amen, brother. And so it's to each his own, y'all, to each his own. I think that we will all be judged accordingly when that time comes. And I am not one to be a speaker for or against the church. It's just not for me. Where did that even come from, Pebbles? Why am I even talking about church? There's so much more in this video to talk about. Like Trudy, who just abandoned us. Trudy! Why, baby? Okay. And now we're about to be left by the geese as well. There goes our geese. Well, guys, I do want to say that getting out every day with these babies has been fun for me. It's something that we haven't done a lot because of the heat. But it took a wake-up call from you all and our vet to let me know that they need this in their diet. And so I know that they enjoy these little outings. We don't spend a whole lot of time here, 30, 40 minutes. As much as we can. Some days is better than others as far as the heat goes. The earlier, the better for me. And so it's neat seeing them all go out here and do what they do and filling their bellies with this kind of nutrition. And it's kind of neat because when I go back, even without having any snacks, when I go back and call them, they all come. They're ready to go back and cool off. This is where we have trouble. When they start getting bored, just like any kid, they start getting bored and get into trouble. We're going to get them out of the cemetery. Here comes our geese. Come on, let's go, babies. Oh, Annie found a place to lay down in the shade, and we're getting her back up. Come on, everybody, let's go. Come on, babies. Come on, you bunch of geese. Come on, Newt. There goes Annie. Oh, my goodness. Look at everybody coming. There we go. Come on, everybody. Look at that one duck. with all of the geese. How weird is that? There's one white duck who's a little bit confused. Come on, babies, come on in. There we go. Right on, get over there and cool off a little bit. Look how they split up. The geese go to cool off in the pond, and all the goats go cool off in the barn. All right. Oh, that was easy. Was that fun for you guys? Look how sweet this is. All of the geese and that one little duck who hangs out with them. I laugh because that's our duck with the broken butt. Her little tail feathers are all twisted and turned at a weird angle. They all stick out to one side. Oh, y'all better get out of there. Look at her. I want to show y'all her behind. How weird is that? There you go. Her little behind feathers are all twisted. They're all caught to one side. They do not want you on that water with them.